Yeah, it's the first to go. Oh, I don't know. Green, brown, whatever.
Good morning.
Anything that doesn't clash. Anything that doesn't clash with me.
This is my very dear pal, the Reverend Sherry Halliday Kwan, who is the senior minister of the First Unitarian Church in Rochester, and is in town for Jacqueline's, right, to see me, but also it's Jacqueline Brett's installation at River. She's the senior minister now, and so anyway, so Sherry,
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
Right there.
Rochester. Is that Rochester?
Is that this
Rochester,
afternoon?
New York?
yeah, yeah. It's
That's
at 4.
where my daughter went to school.
Is that so? Oh, is your daughter still in Rochester?
Oh, no.
Oh, all right.
It can only last about 4 years.
Uh-oh, it's my 4th year there. But I'm really happy to be here in February. So we're thrilled to have you.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Especially.
Even though it's cold,
Yeah, it's very cool.
It is very cold
A lot of
for
people
you.
are staying home today.
Thank you.
No, I get it. I get it.
But also,
20
the
degrees warmer.
2024 total eclipse is going to be.
Are you all coming up? Yeah, we're gonna do like a big camp.
Oh yeah, it's on my calendar because I'm going to visit
Yeah,
Sherry.
my husband is already making Airbnb reservations.
Fabulous. Okay, good. Yeah.
Wow,
So
I should know. I know mine. I'll just stay at your house.
yeah, it's our wedding anniversary, so we're
Maybe I
throwing.
won't stay at your house.
No, it's gonna be a big party. It's
Oh,
gonna
great.
be
Yeah, we'll stay.
Yeah, but yeah, the total solar eclipse 2024 is
Yeah,
gonna
it
be
is.
amazing.
All right, we're all going to Rochester.
I'm not spiritual or religious, but it is a spiritual.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, you should come up. We're gonna do a good now.
Absolutely. See you there.
Thanks all for worship.
Nobody's sitting here on it.
nope,
Nobody's sitting here.
it's all yours.
Great. Yeah. You too, dude. It's very fun that this is like the Sunday that the choir's off, so we're still here. It's so fun.
Good morning. I have got a 12 string and an 8 string here.
Top drawer. Top drawer.
It was my wife, which
About how many people we had on that. Yeah, we're still missing the first.
I totally trust Close. Yeah. Smart. Great.
Nope, it's, Betsy's traveling. And Marianne's where I'm doing it.
Right. Yeah, I was like, okay, how are you gonna go? 7:30. Because I'm gonna start by
She had some really refreshing or something on Wednesday. No, that.
What's happening now? What's happening now is like 20-year-olds are doing if that was what was happening, yeah. It's mostly people
For 4 minutes.
So in this site at 13, I was first grader. I was like, you're so I just and I stopped and I did 10 at 10. And then of course I was like, in, I had to like get muscles and get everything out. Yeah, I was already here. By the time the right, yeah. The other reason yesterday was a non-day because I didn't know. I was way too lazy to go get some. I tried tea and I'm like, yeah, this is not good.
Emergency stash.
Like go blood things. Yeah, it's like that one there's like 2 days when it works out. I'm like ready to go to the grocery store.
But if it happens when else in the house, you see when they go to the grocery store, you just assume that it's going to work right.
My car was in the shop for 5 minutes, and which is fine, you know. And I actually did the online thing and had them deliver it to my house.
I didn't know if anyone else was gonna need a seat.
It was milk being delivered to my house.
It's important to do that when you don't have the copy and you need it. Yeah, I like really stand by that actually.
Yeah. Well, so it's not like I was just, you know, totally free.
I'm here for installation ceremony for the minister who's going to be the senior minister. That is the senior minister. There's something that's going on too. So it's 4 o'clock.
Same at every church. We'll start at the back.
Yeah, we got some people that they sit in the same seats every Sunday. Like Barbara, Tish and Carol Gunn over there at the Walker.
Here, I've got it hanging over the chair.
I wasn't sure when I said when you see names, it's for the reminder of the So see, like it's got that. Is and it actually
What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this that brings my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, when
Good morning. My name is Katie Claude, and I'm a member of this congregation. Will JW come forward and light our chalice? Please join me in our chalice lighting words, which are in your order of service. We light this chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, to remind us to connect in spirituality and service, to care for each other and the world, and to create loving community. Uh-oh.
This story is adapted from an adaptation by Margaret Silf of what is possibly a Peruvian folktale and possibly not. A long time ago, there lived a baker whose bread was very popular in the town. Although his bread and cookies and pastries were the best in the town, he was greedy and stingy. He was so stingy he wouldn't even give the leftover breadcrumbs to the birds.
I gotta get a little closer. A young man lived on the street next to the bakery of the stingy baker. The man used to work hard during the day and used to sleep in the little hut near the bakery at night. The man did not have much, but he was very kind and liked sharing whatever he had. He always smiled and greeted people with pleasantries. His kind and jolly nature made him well liked in the town. The baker was jealous and of his always cheerful neighbor. How can the man have so little and yet always be so cheerful? Every morning, the delicious smell of freshly baked bread, sweet cinnamon buns, and flavorful pastries meandered on the street outside the bakery. The delicious aroma used to reach the home of the poor man. The man used to eat his stale bread on his porch while enjoying the flavorful aroma that filled the neighborhood in the morning. Oops, I went right past your part.
Oh, that's fine.
That's okay.
I'll just go smell the bread.
There you go. Go smell the bread. One morning, the baker saw the poor man enjoying his stale bread as he smelled the fantastic aroma from the bakery. The aromatic smell from the bakery is making his plain bread taste better. That is not fair. The man should be paying for the pleasure of the smell from my shop. After observing the man enjoy his stale plain bread while smelling the flavorful fresh aroma several times, the baker went and knocked on the kind neighbor's door and handed him a bill. The man was perplexed, as he had never eaten at the bakery. What is this bill for? I have never eaten at your bakery.
Exactly. You don't pay anything, but still you take pleasure in the smell of my baked goods every day, and that is theft. I'm calling the police. Dramatic. So the police arrived and they brought the neighbors to court. And the judge said, I must listen to what both parties have to say, and ordered both the baker and his neighbor to be present at court.
The greedy baker was thrilled when he heard about the judge's order, but at the same time, the poor man was worried that he had to hand over the little money he had to the baker. When baker and the neighbor arrived, the court was crowded, as the people were curious about what the verdict would be. They could not believe that the man could be made to pay for the smell. The judge carefully listened to the baker's complaint about the stolen smell from the bakery. Then, addressing the next door neighbor, he inquired, "Is it true that you enjoyed the scent of this man's baked products every day?"
Yes, Your Honor. That is true. Eating moldy bread was a lot less difficult with the enticing aroma of the bakery, the neighbor admitted to the judge. The judge considered it for a while and then declared, since the man hasn't admitted to enjoying the smell without paying a dime, I declare that the smell has been stolen. The man has to pay the baker 5 gold coins for all the stolen smells over the years. The judge's ruling shook the man. But Your Honor, he tried to protest, and he was shut down by the judge. What did the judge say when they're trying? You guys have watched the shows. What do they say when they're trying to get everyone to be quiet? Order. Yeah, order in the court. That's what they do. Can we hear that? You guys are the judge.
The baker was ecstatic that he would be getting paid for his smell. The other man begrudgingly took out the coins from his pocket. The judge asked the man to count the coins in front of the court. The neighbor carefully counted 5 gold coins and placed them in a pouch. "Now toss the coin bag from one hand to the other," asked the judge. The man passed the gold coins back and forth between his hands as he was ordered.
The baker was excited about all these coins going into his pocket. "Did you see the coins?" inquired the judge. "Yes, Your Honor," said the baker. "And did you hear the coins jingle?" asked the judge. "Oh, it's a wonderful sound. The coins I fully deserve," declared the baker. So the baker went over to his neighbor to get his money.
But the judge stopped the baker. "Wait, you have received fair payment. The man was guilty of stealing the smell from your bakery, and you have been paid by viewing and hearing the sound of the coins." The end.
Welcome to worship at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greensboro, where we do not begrudge you smelling bread. I'm the Reverend Sadie Lansdale, and I'm the minister of this congregation. Unitarian Universalists believe that each person has a trustworthy relationship with the Spirit, with the Holy, with the source of all life, with what some call God, though we name it and know it differently from one another. And we believe that because we are interconnected, no one is free until we all are free. So we strive to build beloved community here on earth in our fellowship with one another and in our work for justice. Whether today is your first or your 1,000th Sunday in our midst, we are stronger because you are with us. We are one people of many beliefs, many origins, sexualities, and genders. We're all growing, all learning, and all loved. Our music this morning is offered lovingly by Dan Smith, who's a new member and a professional guitarist, among other things. Dan, we're so thrilled that you're with us in this capacity. Should you have your phone on, adding to the beautiful music in our service, this is a great time to turn it off. Our ministry team here at UUCG is Cindy Dillard, our Director of Children's and Youth Ministry, Julie Hamilton, our Congregational Administrator, and Luke Steichleather, our Experimental Director of Music, who continues his interviews for graduate school in violin, which is why he's not with us these few Sundays in a row. So all of our prayers and wishes and good luck go with Luke, and it is a joy to be together today.
A covenant contains the promises we make to one another in response to the great gift of living, holding ourselves to these holy aspirations. Will you join me in our church covenant? We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greensboro, do covenant to promote a search for personal meaning, respecting the individual truth in a community process of quest, speak and act with caring, courtesy, and love, thereby maintaining emotional, physical, and spiritual safety for all. Support UUCG and denominational efforts with our resources. Combat injustice while promoting equality. Nurture our children on their spiritual journey. Hold ourselves to this covenant, especially during times of conflict and disagreement.
Join in our opening song, Loosen, Loosen. You can stay seated while we learn it, and then we'll rise and sing together. The words are in your order of service, but the font is very small. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Again. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Without me. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, without the choir. Let go. Next part. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Will you rise and pick a part? Dan will sing the low one, I'll sing the high one, and you can do whatever you want. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Yes. If you're joining us in the sanctuary, won't you wave hello to everyone joining us online? If you're online, go ahead, introduce yourselves in the chat. And if you're in person, let's greet our neighbors.
Hello, neighbor.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Well, if I don't come to practice, this is my St. Williams. It's the vision thing that gets wrapped up. Yeah. The first time I came, I actually almost got lost on the road. It was like my driving. That's got a, getting in your 80s and pain, but once I get that, then I'll start from that.
How beautiful it is to be together. We gather in gratitude this morning, turning our hearts to thanks and praise for the gift of living, in the presence of the Spirit that animates all life, in the knowledge that we are powerfully and profoundly connected to all that is, all that has been, and all that will be. During these few minutes of silence, you can focus on something you're grateful for, someone you're remembering especially today, or just the sensation of your chair supporting you. Will you find the most comfortable place in your seat and take a few easy breaths as we settle into our shared silence together? We bring the echoes in our hearts before our community and before the holy in this sacred space and time. If you're online, this is the time to share your joys and sorrows with one another in the chat. If you're in person and you have a milestone you'd like added to our prayers, fill out a yellow card, which the ushers will collect from you. If there's a joy on your heart, you can place a plant in the vase. We're creeping closer to the time of year when I say flower in the vase again. If there's a sorrow, you can place a stone in the bowl. You can light a candle of prayer and presence for someone you're holding close to you, over here or over there. And if you're not sure how you're feeling, or maybe you're a little antsy, there are pipe cleaners in the back to fidget with, or you may have already begun doing your needlework. In church, we practice becoming more fully human. This is our time to take stock of how we arrive here and to take what we need, knowing the table is set for us all. Will you join me in prayer and presence? Spirit of life and love, God of many names and beyond all naming, source of all. Susan Hill writes that Atticus the cat has gone somewhere in her house to die. Prayers for an easy death for Atticus and for peace and comfort to you, Susan.
I gotta find her.
And that you find her. Linda Sullivan writes, my friend Chris, who I've spoken about before, has been diagnosed with numerous heart issues, as well as ongoing lung issues. She will soon go through heart catheterization. Please keep her in your thoughts and prayers. Linda, our prayers are with you and with Chris and with all who love her. Oscar Maddox writes that his cousin fell and got a concussion, and our prayers for comfort and ease and swift healing for your cousin, Oscar, and for your family. I will tell you my joy today, which is that my very dear friend and colleague, Sherry Haldekwan, is in town from Rochester, and my heart is full. So all your prayers of gratitude and joy to me, thank you. We name aloud or in the chat those people on our hearts, living or dead, near or far, that this community might hold them in love. When we try to do the next right thing, when we are unable to do the right thing even when we want to, when it's really unclear what the right thing is, and for when there is no right thing in sight, bless us all. May you remember that you are not the worst thing you've ever done. May we remember that none of us are the worst thing we've ever done. And may this reminder of our inherent worthiness be healing. From the Reverend Kirsten Homblett Allen. We ask these things for ourselves, for those we love, and for those we do not yet love. Amen.
2 songs to sing today, and I do not want to sing them to you. I want to sing them with you. So please help me. I'll show you how the chorus to this song goes, and I'll show you how the ending to this song goes. Light of the world, shine on me. Shine on me. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Shine on us all. Shine on us all. Set us free. Set us free. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. And at the ending it goes, love one another. Love one another. That's all. Name your price, a ticket to paradise. I can't stay here anymore, and I've looked high and low. I've been from shore to shore to shore. If there's a shortcut, I'd have found it, but there's no easy way around it. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. One more time. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. Who knows why someday we all must die? We're all homeless boys and girls, and we are never heard. It's such a lonely, lonely world. People turn their heads and walk on by. Tell me, is it worth just another try? Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. Sing it again. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Let it shine. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. Tell me, are we alive or just a dying planet? What are the chances? Ask the one in your heart for the answer. And when you feel afraid, love one another. When you've lost your way, love one another. When you're all alone, love one another. And when you're far from home, love one another. And when you're down and out, love one another. And all your hopes run out, love one another. When you need a friend, love one another. And when you're near the end, love, we got to love, we've got to love one another. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Let it shine, shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. One more time. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Let it shine, shine on us all, set
Now, our children and youth are invited to join their teachers in the RE wing for class, snack, play, in fellowship. Let's sing them out. Go in peace, go in love, go in joy. Go in peace, go in peace, go in peace. Amen, amen. Go in love, go in love, go in love. Amen, amen. Go in joy, go in joy, go in joy. Amen, amen.
So the baker wants to charge you for smelling his bread. Sometimes these immoral tales sort of set up one character as the guy you shouldn't be, you know? And you hear them and you're like, oh, I'm not that guy, and you feel great about yourself. And that's fine. But if we don't think that the most useful way to approach this story is that the baker is just sort of a big dum-dum, can't we recognize him as kind of jealous and fearful? Clutching and guarding what's his, afraid to give it away, afraid that there's some sort of threat to his livelihood, maybe just unable to delight in the other man's delight. This I work so hard and what does he do? This terrible feeling of scarcity that has traveled from the economy in which he lives into his soul. I've never charged anyone for bread. But I have felt jealous, and I have felt fearful. And I've gone like this, when I maybe wanted to go like that. So either you have too, or I'm like the worst person in the whole church, According to Brene Brown, envy happens when we want something someone else has. And jealousy is when we cling to something we understand to be ours, when we fear losing a relationship or a valuable part of a relationship that we already have. And both of these are feelings. And I'm told by my therapist that feelings are normal. They are not right or wrong, they just are. Jealousy and envy, though, can damage our connections when we don't tend them compassionately. These feelings can distance us from each other, or else they can be occasions and even excuses for terrible interpersonal violence. When these feelings are coupled with entitlement, with the idea that someone else is ours, we can act possessively, right? You've heard possessive lovers or whatever. So if someone else is in your possession, that starts to get, that gets us into trouble. This is a denial of humanity and dangerous. And the feelings that produce it are so terribly normal. So an antidote to jealousy and envy is something called compersion. How many of you have heard this word? 1, 2, 3, okay. Yeah, I do have a ringer in the audience. That's true. I do. But great news. Compersion, we say that, so we all have the same word, compersion. Jessica Fern is the author of a book called Polysecure: Attachment, Trauma, and Consensual Non-Monogamy. And she describes compersion this way: the state of happiness, joy, or pleasure that comes from delighting in other people's happiness. In non-monogamy, the term is more specifically used to the positive feelings experienced when your partner or your lover has a positive experience with one of their partners or their lovers. Okay, is that definition clear? Yes. Otherwise, we'll lose the whole point, so, okay, all right. So the point here, right, is that polyamorous people have started to really examine relationships and communication skills. and develop theories about relationships that are suitable for this next level complexity of multiple partners. So when you have more than one really important romantic relationship, you have to get really good at caring about everyone's feelings and talking about them. So what this means is there is an increase in the literature and kind of a general leveling up in the practice of thoughtfulness around juggling these multiple needs. I've heard some polyamorous friends describe themselves as relationship geeks, people who both have relationships, but also find the study of them like really, really interesting. So their major contribution to my life is that these emotional skills can be learned and developed and practiced with other trusted people, no matter what's going on in your relationship structure. So this is huge news. This is great news for me, and huge news regardless of what your agreements are in any of your romantic relationships. The discipline of learning to take joy from someone else's joy, even when it's difficult for you, is, of course, essential in this kind of relationship structure that she writes about, but it's also really good for us in community life. I will confess to you that recently we sang a hymn that I don't particularly care for. I won't tell you which one it is, though the choir knows. And I did go to the choir and say, I need your help. I did choose this, and I really don't like it. And I know a lot of you do. Please tell me why. And they explained, I love the words. I met the composer. I really love the beat. And they taught me why they really love it. And so when we sang it, you know, I was able to be like, okay, it's still not my thing. But this is the discipline of really trying to take joy from other people's joy. So thank you. So the baker, feeling jealous, feeling unsafe, feeling insecure, calls the cops. This should ring alarm bells, especially on the heels of more police killings of Black people making the news again. And why does the baker do it? Because he doesn't like someone else's joy. How many instances of violence can you recall in the last few years that have made the news, where someone, usually Black, is doing something joyful in public, and someone calls the cops? Playing loud music, some guy was bird watching, having a cookout in a public park, having fun. And usually it's white people, though not always, but you know, we'll sort of broadly generalize here because we don't have 3 hours to really get into it. It is usually white people who believe that the function of the police is to protect our feelings, sort of like a general manager for public space. This is not their function. Their function historically was first as slave patrols and protectors of property from the general public. And some of that property was human beings. So put this way, it's not a surprise why increasing police budgets doesn't actually decrease crime or violence, because that's not their purpose. Their purpose is not to prevent crime or violence, or even to solve it. It is to protect private property with force. So it's not just like nice or good or a sweet hobby to learn to take real joy in the joy of others. It's that it's dangerous for people with some degree of power to fail at it. This is a major league spiritual failure with deadly consequences, to be able to take joy in someone else's joy, to be unable to take joy in someone else's joy. On a societal level, the inability to do this can lead to really terrible violence. On a personal level, the inability to take joy from each other's joy can lead to violence too. Or at the very least, it can lead to this sort of terrible and sad distance between us, a lack of authentic connection. A few years ago, I was on a list, along with several of you, to be responders to ICE raids. ICE is Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. Remember, like 2018, 2019, there was a huge uptick in ICE raids in this part of the state. And so we did an ICE Watch training here in the sanctuary. If you signed up, you got a text, you said you could do it, you responded and drove to the spot where the ICE vehicle was rumored to be, and you check it out and respond to the hotline so as to clear up rumors and reduce fear in our immigrant communities. So I responded, and once it turns out it wasn't ICE, it was parking enforcement. But it really scared a bunch of people who were gathering for a child's birthday party. And once we figured out that the coast was clear, they invited me in for cake and pozole, which is like a delicious soup with pork and chicory in it. And the party was super fun, and the kids were really cute, and I was delighted to be invited to stay. I thought about it later and was like, I mean, I guess I could have all sorts of like guilty privilege reasons for caring about social justice, but the truth of the matter is I just really like to go to parties, and I really like to have a fun time, and I want everyone else to have a fun time too. And the threat that some guys in like a truck are gonna steal your dad sort of dampens the mood at a party, right? So, I like to have fun with my friends and family and strangers, and I want everyone else to be able to do the same in the ways that are safe. And isn't that what we are here for? To feed each other and to celebrate and take delight in being alive while we can. To make it safer for everyone to be able to do that. And isn't that partly what a church is for too? To throw parties, to mourn when it is time to mourn, but to deepen our delight, to strengthen our relationships, our sense of belonging in our only world, to feel ourselves so part of the fabric of everything that we can't help but eat and dance and love our way to the world that yet could be. To make the safe place for the tears to fall when death comes close. When we have that most normal of human experiences, that I suffer when my neighbor suffers, and that I rejoice when my neighbor rejoices. So if we think the baker isn't just kind of the guy we shouldn't be, I wonder what he needs. What does he need in order to be able to find delight in his neighbor's delight? What do people need to walk away from jobs where their job is to do violence to other people? What do we need to turn toward each other rather than away? To extend love but not control. I know actually of some organizations in Arizona who are focused on finding jobs for Border Patrol agents who want to get out. Right? It's like, you work for the Border Patrol, you decide you don't want to do that anymore, you've done terrible things, you have moral injury, and you have young children. And so what do you do, right? So there are organizations who've got a really practical answer to that. That is a ministry. So one of the things people need is material security. That's the other thing about all these fables too. They're like, he was poor, but he was happy. There's a lot of kind of glamorizing of going without in a way that is not true to the experience of a lot of people's lives. But it is to say that material security and spiritual security are not the same, though both are important. And this is the skill we're thinking about today, this ability to really delight in the delight of others, even when it's hard. That compersion is the antidote to this terrible scarcity that has wormed its way into the baker's heart. In his book, Inciting Joy, the author Ross Gay writes about joy and solidarity. And he says, my hunch is that joy is an ember for, or a precursor to wild and unpredictable and transgressive and unboundaried solidarity. That solidarity might incite further joy. which might incite further solidarity and so on. My hunch is that joy emerging from our common sorrow, which does not necessarily mean we have the same sorrows, but that we in common do sorrow, might draw us together, might depolarize us, de-atomize us enough so that we consider what it is in common that we love. Attending to what we hate in common is too often all the rage, and happens also to be very big business. Noticing what we love in common and studying it might help us survive. It's why I think of joy, which gets us to love, as being a practice of survival, and why I have written this book. The poets go on and on about joy, don't they? Joy and the joy of others, blah, blah, blah. But like, how? Are you sitting here being like, okay, but like, how? I do have handouts. That's not a joke. I do have them. And I'll tell you 3 steps, but in adult religious exploration in the sanctuary, I will give you the handouts. If you cannot stay, you can email me and I will email you one. You could write them down, but also why, when I could give you the handout. So here are 3 practices for you to try. You could try them this week. If you do try them, send me an email. I want to know about it. The first one is to take seriously the Buddhist practice of mudita, which is growing your capacity for joy at all. So in order to be able to delight in the delight of others, to be able to expand one's capacity for delight, right? So they interpret mudita as an inner spring of infinite joy that is available to everyone at all times, regardless of circumstance. The more deeply one drinks of this spring, more securely one becomes in one's own abundant happiness, the more bountiful it becomes to relish the joy of other people. Okay, number 1. Number 2, this one's very hard for some of us. I don't know, if you're good at this, please also send me an email, because I really want to know all your secrets. Number 2, practicing self-compassion. To truly, deeply, and thoroughly, with the most patience you can possibly muster, tend the sorrows and envies and jealousies and insecurities that block your joy. Take your own feelings seriously. Do not use other people who have it worse as a shield between you and your sorrow. Let it in and tend it carefully and compassionately. This will remove a huge barrier to joy. The third one, and you may or may not see this coming, church music is a practice ground. When we sing or play or listen to music that you do not particularly connect to, that is a great opportunity for you to practice. Easily 30 minutes of our worship is music, so there's so much time for you to do this, okay? Because somebody, even if it's not your thing, somebody loves it. Someone sways, someone cries, someone lights up knowing the words, someone remembers their beloved friend's funeral, someone remembers dancing with their first love, someone remembers the summer camp sing-along, someone remembers a lullaby from childhood. When you see them sway, cry, move, and sing louder, light up. Try to let their joy in. Observe it. Notice it and let it in. And send their joy, the sincerest, warmest possible good wishes it is within your power to muster. And if all else fails, go ask the choir to help you like a hymn better. It did work for me. The poet Marge Piercy writes, "To have without holding. Learning to love differently is hard. Love with the hands wide open, love with the doors banging on their hinges, the cupboard unlocked, the wind roaring and whimpering in the rooms, rustling the sheets and snapping the blinds that thwack like rubber bands in an open palm. It hurts To love wide open, stretching the muscles that feel as if they are made of wet plaster, of blunt knives, and then of sharp knives. It hurts to thwart the reflexes of grab, of clutch, to love and let go again and again. It pesters to remember the lover who is not in the bed, to hold back what is owed to the work that gutters like a candle in a cave without air. To love consciously, conscientiously, concretely, constructively. I can't do it. You say it's killing me, but you thrive. You glow on the street like a neon raspberry. You float and sail, a helium balloon, bright bachelor's button blue and bobbing on the cold and hot winds of our breath as we make and unmake in passionate diastole and systole, the rhythm of unbound bonding. To have and not to hold. To love with minimized malice, hunger and anger, moment by moment, balanced. May it be so for you, and so for us all. Amen. We rise in body or in spirit for our response hymn, number 95 in your gray hymnal, There Is More Love Somewhere.
One of the ways that we live out our mission to create loving community is to contribute financially to the ministries of this congregation and to do the good work of our community partners. One of the ministries of this church is our Minister's Discretionary Fund, which is available to anyone in a tough spot. We can help with medical bills, rent, groceries, or other needs. Reverend Sadie's email and phone number are on the back of your order of service, or you can contact the church through our website. And I have great news. Our Minister's Discretionary Fund is low. This is great news because it means that more people know to ask us for help, to count on us as a resource. You or your friends or your neighbors or people whom you refer to us. So please give generously so that we can keep saying yes. If you'd like to make a contribution to our offering to be split with this fund, you can do so at the link in the description of our video. You can mail a check. You can text to give with the information in your order of service. Ushers will come forward now to collect this offering, which will be gratefully received.
You can play the game, you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can be to another, it doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do as I say. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. Now what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. It's better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. What I'd like to do to you, shower the people you love with love. Yes, and show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. I'd like to sing it again. Shower the people you love. Show them, got to show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. One more time. Shower the people you love with love. You've got to show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel.
feel we've all been given our marching orders for the week. So go forth and shower some people with love this week. And please join us with our extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
If you're online and you'd like to get more connected, click the link in the description of this video and let us know how we can connect with you. If you're in person, you can fill out a pink form at the visitors table. You can visit our website for our contact form, and the best way is to stick around after worship for our post-worship reflection in the sanctuary. Our next Exploring Membership class is on Saturday, February 11th, so this coming Saturday, 10-ish to maybe 3 if we have a big crowd, earlier if we don't. Snacks, food, donuts, lunch, childcare, etc. provided. So if you're kind of wondering what the deal is here and if membership might be right for you, we'd love to have you. Adult RE will be in the sanctuary focusing on how this service speaks to your life. So go grab your copy and come join us. And finally, on Tuesday, February 28th. Maybe that's a Tuesday. Okay, yes, Tuesday, February 28th. Basically, we still have abortion rights in North Carolina, but they're coming for it. So a bunch of our partners across the state are going to Raleigh for a reproductive justice lobby day. I will go if 5 of you come with me. I will not go as sort of a mascot. So you can send me an email and let me know. We can carpool. We have a couple weeks to get our act together. If you want to go but you need childcare, we will have you covered. We've got a few people who have said that they would love to go and can't, but they totally can watch your kids. So if that's an issue, if you have to miss work and it's like we have a discretionary fund that people are about to really fill up. So if you either need like an equivalent of a day's wages or someone to watch your kids, we can help you with those things if you want to go to Raleigh. So email me. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Dan. It's really... yeah, just really a gift. From this house to the world, we will
tithlies, all the tithlies,
which I have been using.
all the tithlies. I know, I've seen yours.
PayPal did something that made me have to log into PayPal, so I said,
I've seen yours on tithlies. I
Yep.
know about it, but I'm not. Julie hasn't sent me the listings. I've got 4 of them, and she hasn't sent me.
she should give you the login so that you can get to them directly.
She should. And then she hasn't put in $2,000 or $3,000 payments, and she didn't put in payroll, the end of the month payroll. I can see it coming out, but I don't have it in church windows. So I mean, and she's doing deposits mobile, which is a mess, but I can deal with it. But she put Bill Patterson's $55 check in as $25, and I know how you do it. Your finger misses goes from 2 instead of 5.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how we're going to fix it, because I don't know whether. I'd like to know. I'm going to get her to find out from him whether he got $25 or $55 taken out of his bank account, because I don't know which it is. In either case, we're missing $30, and either we have to eat it because he had 25, he had 55 taken out. So we didn't get the 30, but I'm going to give him credit for it. I mean, I already have. That's how I figured out what was going on.
Right.
Or he got 25 out too, and we get him to send us a $30 check. But I'm going to make Julie go chase that. I had a check I was depositing for a Coral Society for $700, and I ended up putting $700.08 in. My finger went off the 0 onto the 8. I got to talk to the guy and see what happened with him, and if I could have the 8 cents. So, but we're missing a bunch of stuff. You're not going to be able to. I mean, there's $6,000 or $7,000 in expenses that haven't been entered in church windows. So any number you get are going to be, and there's a $2,000 deposit, which I'm assuming is the last day of the month here. Somebody put a big check in. So
Luckily, this is the latest it can be.